seen that suppliers claim they've got little incentive to engage, and the CMA have mercifully accepted that nothing they can do is particularly going to change that. So I think the price cap is welcome there.
The onus is back on the rest of the consumers to switch if they haven't switched for years and they're on a bad tariff. Where can you find the cheapest deals on the market?
Now that might change, because one of the key recommendations of the CMA is to relax this requirement of comparison sites to show you the cheapest deals, whether they pay the comparison site a commission or not. Incidentally, Dermot at Ofgem, he's come down on them when they tried to sneak out of that requirement in the past. However, they're saying they don't have to show you the cheapest deal. They only need to show you deals if they pay a commission. Which means that in effect, those cheapest deals of independent suppliers are going to be buried.
There'll be a new database of people who are on expensive tariffs and haven't changed for 3 years. And obviously, Ofgem has 3 years to work out before the people will get their first letters. Good idea?
It remains to be seen. I think this is generally a move away from a restricted, regulated approach to competition towards more anything goes. So if that database is opened up to suppliers, all of whom want to make as much money as they can from you, we don't really want that spammers charter. I think Dermot should be looking at whether they should be opening the database to organisations that have a proven record and incentive to keep you on the best deal, rather than as quickly as possible getting you to their worst deal, which is how most suppliers appear to be behaving.
Let's give Dermot Nolan, the Chief Executive of Ofgem, a chance to respond. And potentially a spammers charter, and give organisations with consumers' interests at heart a chance to be part of this database.
Absolutely, I would say. I mean, obviously we're going to try and implement the database as quickly and effectively as possible, but I do want to hear from consumer groups, from consumers themselves, as to how they think it can work efficiently. We want companies to trial it, we want to make sure it actually works. I understand people's concerns about the spammers charter, but I really will tell you we're doing our very, very best to make sure that it doesn't happen, and that it ultimately serves consumers' interests rather than the company.
Dermot Nolan, briefly if you would, because of data protection, will energy customers have to opt in to being part of this database?
Our view, which we're talking with the Information Commissioner at the moment, is that no, the CMA has suggested that there will be an opt-out mechanism, and our tentative view, and I stress this isn't final, is that it will be an opt-out arrangement. But I would say again, I hope I'm not being repetitive, I really want to hear what consumers have to say about this database. As Will said, I welcome the prepayment cap, and I also say that the kind of innovation that perhaps his company or other companies will bring to the energy market in the next few years is a really positive force. It's a positive force that will allow people to get better deals and still, I hopefully see, trust their energy companies and ultimately raise service standards forward.
Four local authorities are trying a new way of deciding where to send the teams that repair the roads and clear up fly tipping. They're asking people to use a smartphone app to report problems. Others then vote on which problems they'd like to see sorted first. Council contractors watch what's trending and they fix the things that most people are most bothered about. The app is called Changeify. It's being used in Barcelona, Hamburg, Zurich and Plymouth. Claire Woodling went to see how it works.
There's only one thing worse than roadworks. That's potholes, and waiting for them to be fixed. The repairs didn't come quickly enough for cyclist Priya Prakash.
There were several potholes outside my house in Camberwell, which I had reported several times, and there was a particularly dangerous one, which was right in front of a busy junction where the cyclist cannot move. And what really annoyed me that morning where I ran into the pothole was I knew this was going to happen, and bang.
Priya broke her leg. But the accident was a source of inspiration.
I was really in a bad way. I ended up being in the hospital for 2 weeks. And what frustrated me was during my time in the hospital when I was looking and staring at the ceiling, thinking I could have prevented that and also prevented several other accidents that others might face. So what could I do as a designer in creating something where different people who can spot things which are going to be potentially hazardous, how can they use their crowd intelligence to help advise a city or the contractors maintaining the city's infrastructure, which are those most important problems that requires fixing. So that brainwave when I was sitting in the hospital was Changeify.
Changeify is an app Priya invented. She hopes it will encourage people to report the potholes they see and speed up the repair process. It works by people using their mobile phones to upload photos of potholes or things like fly tipping, which other users can see and vote on. Just like with social media, some images will trend. The pothole repair team, which is monitoring the app, can respond as it's happening and fix problems.
This is in real time. This is not through some long-winded consultation process. This is people using the city infrastructure, taking photos and voting in real time what needs improving. And the service provider who has a contract with the city can take this kind of field reports and decide what are those jobs that needs to be done. So it's really about trying to bubble up from the bottom up what people want to see being improved, and from the top down, the city authorities and the service provider taking that information in order to create change in real time and figuring out what needs fixing.
Cyclists are among those involved in the pilot. Gareth Thomas is one of them.
I thought the app had real scope to give walkers and cyclists a voice, to let Amy and the City Council know when problems needed to be solved. After particularly bad winter weather, there might be a new pothole opening up. It's a changing environment, and the app being in real time means that we can address these problems as they happen.
Road repair teams want to take part because they can focus their work where it matters to local people. Paul Anderson from the contractor Amy says it's about listening to communities and doing something extra.
If you take the exact location we're at the moment, Claire, if we were to go about this conventionally, we would simply plane out this road. We might change one or two of the curb sets that have been damaged. If you just look around here now, we've got a day nursery up there. Now, it might well be the case that that day nursery has young mums trying to come in, congested traffic, trying to turn around, buggies, kids, all these things going on around them.
Class had that was interested the whole evening thrusting into as many pictures as she could. Look at all the others.
Yeah, but if Miranda sees that, she'll get the wrong impression.
Hard to believe. She knows Lillian's his social secretary.
Well, I'm just saying she should be more careful.
You don't think they're having an affair?
No, of course not.
No.
She doesn't want to.
No, darling. Darling. Oh, darling. Justin's been looking at the market site in Dorchester.
You'd be silly, darling.
What for?
Well, apparently he's got a new development idea. It's early days still, of course. But I got the impression he's thinking pretty big.
What sort of idea?
He wouldn't say. Just that he wanted to keep me in the loop at this stage.
Ooh, very mysterious.
Just keep it under your hat for now, though, darling, just in case.
Oh, Tony. What a relief seeing him so happy.
Oh, that's smashing, Henry. Well done.
You know, we're thinking
Ah,
of
was that
parents
little
around.
shit.
What a difference a couple of days make.
was
Well,
being
hasn't
so
tried anything this
rude.
time.
Yes, as far as we know. Are you going on the slide again?
Yes, I am.
Good lad.
And like you,
Just hang on to the fact
I want to watch TV.
mostly.
Friday was a real warning to us, though. I don't think we'll go through another day like that with them.
Neither do I. So, it's all down to the Fadra hearing on Wednesday.
Oh, Tony, if only we'd be certain we're getting back. Home where he belongs.
I'm sure Maggie will do her best.
And Anna for Helen.
Of course.
Meantime, all we can do is make sure he knows how much we love him. And Rob doesn't damage him too much.
Yes. Here he comes again.
That was terrific, Henry. Now then, should we have some lunch?
Oh, I expect so.
Well, while you do that, I'll get the picnic
Now
out.
that sounds good. Right, Henry. Let's see what you can do.
Yes, but it's so typical of Rob, calling him something else without even consulting Helen. I mean, how dare he?
Helen did the same. She didn't ask Rob, did she?
How could she, Tony? She's in prison.
I know it's frustrating, but there's every chance we'll get Henry back after Wednesday.
God, I hope so.
And if we do, we'll make sure he gets our side of things as well. Oh, Henry, that was super fast.
Yes, it was. I went Mummy Christmas.
Oh, darling, so do I.
Why doesn't Mummy come home?
Kenton's grumpy, isn't he?
Yeah, it does seem a bit off.
Well, Jolene was telling me he came back from the Faith Committee with a flea in the grip. Apparently, he was arguing with
Linda about the theme.
Really? Life's too short.
Did you win?
I'm afraid not, Mum.
Oh, that's a pity.
Same old story.
No, we had 11 players this time.
Oh, well, that's an improvement on none.
Oh, thank you, Ryan.
It was pretty close, actually.
The closest yet. Only a couple of wickets in it.
But we still lost.
Right, luck.
Richard did well, but Harrison.
Ah, so there's hope yet.
Of course.
Inside, darling. It's getting cold, yeah?
Yeah, of course, yeah. We'll see you later.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Jennifer.
I really don't see that we can go on like this. It's not good, is it? You can see Rob wasn't impressed.
Can't say I'm that bothered by
Can't deny we miss him as a player, though.
No, I know.
He's a good cricket, I saw him told.
We barely even scrape a team together at the moment.
And our teas are rubbish. Even Shooter's given up on us.
Shop bought cakes and sandwiches.
Yeah, the Parksley players made a few comments.
Yet just last season we had the best team and the best teas. I think we should call an extraordinary general meeting.
Well, we could.
Get some new ideas. And new blood, hopefully. How about next week?
Yeah, why not? I'll start putting the word round.
There is no way I'm going to let this team die on my watch.
I didn't manage to speak to Rob.
Right. That's a shame.
Ursula kept hanging around. So there goes another chance of agreeing what to tell Henry.
What were you going to say?
We tell Henry that she's in prison. What else can we say?
You know, we've already made such a bad job of it. We should have told him ages ago. Agreed it with Rob and just done it.
Yeah, I know.
And it's not as if we can tell him what we really think. Not while he's living with Rob. He'd be terrified.
We can't go on pretending it's something else altogether.
I know.
It's crucial we agree a consistent line with Rob so Henry gets the same story from both of us. And every Mel or Henry's there.
Oh, I hate it. I don't know how Henry's going to forgive us for all this.
I'm sure he will, Dad.
Everything's against us. I'm a witness and Helen isn't allowed to see Henry.
Rob would still be spinning a different line from us though, wouldn't he? Whatever. Oh, I can't believe I've got to explain to my grandson why his mum is in prison.
We're going to have to wait till after the hearing, Tony. It'll be a lot easier if Henry's back with us.
Yes, that's if we get him back.
You said it yourself, we've got a good chance. And once we get Henry safely home, we can start all over again.
And tonight at 7, there's big change ahead at Grange Farm. And here's a welcome change for Thursday evenings.
Join me Shipline for my brand new Radio 4 series, where I will be interviewing members of the great British public. Real people, real stories. What was the last sign you made?
It was an industrial nameplate. It wasn't very funny.
Well, listen, don't worry, it's not your job. Don't let me worry about that. There will be incisive questioning. What do you, listen out for at least one joke about a chicken. Oh, a chicken-proof lawn. It's impeccable. The Tim Vine Chat Show, this Thursday at 6:30 on BBC Radio 4.
Elm Radio 4, it's our afternoon drama. Each year in the UK, around 250,000 people go missing. Ambiguous Loss is a series of 3 dramas, each exploring different aspects of that experience through the story of one family. 477 Days by Michael Butt.
It was a Saturday, normal Saturday, 14th of May. Went to work in the morning, got in, thought brilliant, house to myself, go to make a cup of tea, and see a note on the table saying gone for a walk. I don't think people understand how disturbing it is when someone you thought loved over half your life leaves and you don't know where they've gone or why they went.
on his own in the playground. I think she worried about that, but he didn't complain. He seemed perfectly happy. He knew how to play. It wasn't that he didn't know how to play. He was always playing with his dad.
I loved that he was
I'm
quiet
confused.
and that he wasn't full of all the chat and he wasn't one of the lads. And
I know people used to caught them quite often looking and thinking.
I thought this was the town I stopped in yesterday.
And his mother. But
Maybe that was Bakewell.
Maybe I suppose we got quite a dashing couple.
And Aidan looked, so gorgeous, just so handsome, was just so proud that he was my husband and he was my man.
He was a studious boy. He was a very studious boy.
I liked the fact that he was quiet and relaxed and
I remember all of these amazing memories of him.
just seemed to be kind of quietly sure of himself.
When we were kids, when we were growing up, the way he looked after me, the way he cared for me.
And he came and gave me a secret little goodnight kiss.
And he came and picked me up, kissed me on my head and told me I've been brave.
He'd come in with his briefcase and his suit and he just looked like a dad, you know?
He was good with his hands. He like his dad is. He was making things. He had a real flair. He had a lovely plane. I remember this plane he showed me with great pride. I thought, goodness, that's what you've been doing all this while.
Aidan was so good in an artistic way, you know?
He'd always be sort of like making something and
I remember the moment that Dad brought up the doll's house that he made for me. He made Carmela the most beautiful doll's house. It was amazing. You could have sold it in Harrods. It was just stunning. I just remember feeling like the luckiest girl in the world. I don't know, just something about him. I just loved him. I felt so safe in our little
Loved him.
in our little unit.
if he's dead now, then I think what I'm really going to remember is that I'm really proud of my dad.
He was like my strong silent type, you know? That's what Aidan is like. Is like. I'd been at Nicola's that morning because we were practicing for the summer concert. So Carmela's out, Jean's out, go to make a cup of tea. I see a note on the table.
His baby, what we'd do together. Aidan. He chose the name Aidan. I don't know, but anyway, the name. I loved the name. And Aidan was very healthy. 7 pounds 9 ounces. And we took him home and put him in this little cradle. With Leonard coming back in the evening, I wanted things to be nice. Then he'd come home and used to charge up the stairs if I was parting him and say, let me take over, let me do that. And I could hear them giggling away. I used to sing to him with that lovely, lovely voice of his.
I find this very strange that
songs, make up stories.
a lot of English people have trouble straightening their cars in car spaces.
How did it get any sleep, really? And Monday morning comes, I look a wreck, I feel the wreck, and just can't face work. Which is so not like me.
Maybe you'll need to go that
Be
way.
alright, I say, you've got to come back because it's my birthday soon. And then it's our anniversary. And then the kids have got their exams. So he's got to be around for that. So he's got to come back from wherever he's gone. He must have done a midlife crisis thing and he's lost his job and it's just a massive blow to his ego and he's gone off on one. And he'll come back when he's sorted himself out.
And when Carmela came round it was Monday morning, she came round and she was in a terrible state and she just hugged me. This poor little girl who'd lost her daddy, she didn't know what was going on. I said, all right, okay, Daddy'll come back. Perhaps he just needed a bit of a break. He'll be back.
At the end of Monday now. And so I did what that nice policeman told me to do, which is ring back and report him as a missing person.
So the police came around.
And they say that they're going to send round someone who specialises in this kind of thing.
And we all gave, you know, a statement like last time we saw him,
and I found that really, really hard, because I hadn't thought of anything terrible happening to him. I was still a bit annoyed with him that he'd gone off and worried us all sick and that he's going to come back.
And the police have been searching and checking all the hospitals, the police stations as well.
And the lady said she needed a photo of him and she needed to look through some of his things.
we took some swabs of his clothes and that.
And she got his hairbrush.
It's come back the same way again.
And she took the hair out of his brush and put it in a little clear bag, like, you know, you take on the plane. Oh, sorry. I wash brushes every day in my job, don't think anything of it, but that was really, really grim. Oh, that wasn't nice at all.
Oh, calm down.
He went and watched his dad playing cricket those Saturdays. They were like best friends. They were very, very close. And as I say, they were always doing things, inventing things. It made them deep memories.
Really happy memories. So apart from knowing that something wasn't quite right,
I go round to her for coffee. Sometimes it's really helpful, sometimes it's not.
and then I've been going around to Nanny Hans ever since it happened.
You know, we get the photos out and
She'd show me photos of him when he was young and stuff.
sometimes we just both end up crying until we can't cry anymore.
Carmela keeps telling me, she kept telling me about this missing people and that they can help. And that when I'm having all these thoughts and I'm worrying and getting upset, to call someone who knows about this stuff. And I did. One night, it was in the middle of the night. They listened. They told me that it was like a roller coaster of emotions and feelings, and that's exactly how I felt. That it comes in waves, and that's what it's like. And Carmela wanted to go further, and that there's missing people. They can put a campaign, like a missing persons campaign, where you put posters and you try and find the person. But I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. It just seemed wrong and vulgar and just not right. So I just left it, and when there were times where I needed to pick up the phone and talk to someone, I did, and they were very, very helpful. We sat down and finally agreed to register that to missing people.
We filled out the form together. She helped me fill it out online,
which was amazing.
And then you have to start thinking about Christmas, what you're going to do with no money.
The first Christmas after Dad gone, right.
Those big occasions you think, well,
What's Dad doing? Where is he?
yeah, today
Is he thinking of us?
is he thinking about us? And this is hard, this is really hard, it's hard for him.
But we decided together that we were going to have Christmas. I was going to cook dinner, and that Jean would be coming home from uni.
I'd come home from uni. I felt like Mum and Carmela were carrying on, but they didn't realise how bad it was, you know, it was taking their toll.
So we did. I had the dinner, I had my dad round. I asked Helen if she'd like to come, but she didn't want to come, so that's fine.
Mum was on these tranquilizers. She spent most of the day either in the bedroom, on the sofa, on at the TV.
I got them each a present, and they got me a handbag. It was really lovely.
It was a bit of a shock, and we decided that I wouldn't go back.
And then Jean tells me in the kitchen that he's not going back to uni.
Mum and I didn't want Jean to do that, to just throw away his future like that.
So I say, why? I'm not liking it. I'm not liking the home to help.
We were pretty strapped for cash, and there was no point in me being at uni with all this student loan. I couldn't concentrate at uni about anything, so it was better that I came back and started contributing, you know.
What an amazing son.
And the point was we needed to start making practical steps towards getting back to normal, or something more like normal. You know, we needed to make some kind of progression.
Yeah.
I remember on one occasion hearing him crying, and like I said, he never cried after his dad died. He never cried. But I remember hearing this sobbing, and I went up to his door, and I was frightened of going in, so I knocked very carefully. I said, Aidan. And the crying stopped immediately. I said, Aidan. He didn't say anything. So I went back downstairs and left him to it. I was busy to pry, but I needed to know he was all right. And I had talked to him then. Anyway, this period of despair, his anger tantrums, this deep unhappiness, I was braced for something, and it looked as though these episodes, they were what his dad had had. And I said, look, why don't you just go and talk to the doctor? They're very understanding. He came back and said he'd been, and I asked him various questions. He didn't answer. He just went up to his room, closed the door, and that was it.
And when Aidan's birthday came round, I don't know what to do. I think that's the first time I thought of the reality that he might do.
Oh.
I don't think you can think like that, but I didn't tell the children. Because if you think like that, then you've already given up. And I haven't given up. And I won't give up. We got the photo albums out, we spoke about him, we looked at our family pictures, our holiday pictures. And I was thinking, I don't know. Complete stranger.
I wasn't sleeping, wasn't seeing any friends, didn't have a girlfriend. I felt pretty lonely.
And I want to feel close to Aidan. I go into his room, just sit on his bed. I open the drawers and I hold a shirt close to me.
Some days I just wish he'd just come in the door. Just to see him, just to touch him, just to think about him.
There's been times where I feel Dad does come back.
When Dad comes through the door, it's
What will we say to him?
something I think about every single day, but who knows? He lost his dad. How can he do that to his own children? I think he could either come
She's
back.
written an article about this due to be published soon. Fiona McNeill, why aren't we doing the same as the French and warning all women having breast implants that there is this risk of cancer, albeit a small risk? Thank you. I think that many cosmetic breast surgeons are already advising women who are considering cosmetic breast implantation about this risk, and that's certainly the recommendation of the cosmetic breast societies. Currently, our main focus, going back to a comment that you made earlier, our main focus is actually educating the profession, because I think there's very little knowledge about this condition amongst surgeons. And so our focus is on raising awareness of this condition through educational initiatives, so that if a woman who presents to a breast clinic with a lump and a swelling around an implant, the surgeon will be able to initiate the appropriate investigations, because it's felt that the rising incidence that we're seeing over the last few years may just be because we are starting to understand the way this disease presents. We are diagnosing it more, and it's possible that there were many undiagnosed cases in the past. So currently, I think it would our focus is on education and raising awareness.
Finding your way around this country, I can't imagine how something like
among the public. When you have any kind of surgery, the surgeon usually sits down and explains the risks, however remote those risks might be. Are surgeons talking with each other about what they should be telling patients? Yes, that's a very good question, because this is a very topical area of discussion amongst surgeons at the moment. In fact, just earlier this year we had a publication in our society newsletter to stimulate debate and discussion about this problem. So you're talking to each other. What do you think, because nearly in the programme, that women should be told who are considering having breast implants? Well, I
think it's quite clear that women should be informed of this risk, but as your earlier speaker said, they should be informed that this is a rare condition and that this is a curable condition. And also they should be informed that if they develop a swelling around their implant or a swelling plus a lump, they must present promptly to their breast clinic.
Fiona Finn, head of the Association of Breast Surgery. Thank you very much. That's it for today. Tomorrow it is our weekly phone-in, and we'd like to know what has changed for you since the Brexit result was announced. Have you run a business? Have you seen an impact? Are you bringing forward or putting up some big projects? What about holidays, buying a house or property abroad? Has it cemented your relationship with your friends and family or put a strain on them? Email us please. Tell us how the Brexit decision has changed things for you. You and yours at bbc.co.uk. Please leave us some phone numbers. Phone-in starts tomorrow, 12:15.
You and Yours was presented by Winfried Robinson. It was produced by Ollie Clancy. Now let's check on the weather and fingers crossed for a certain tennis tournament that's just beginning today. Here's John Hammond.
Thanks very much, Chris. Very good afternoon. Well, those of us who are lucky enough to be at SW19 today are in luck. A full day's play. If you're going any other day this week, then, well, take something waterproof and a good book would be my advice. There will be some rain around, I think, each and every day after today, that is. But for the rest of this afternoon, a bit more detail, starting off with England and Wales, and yes, plenty of fine weather out there, particularly across southern counties, the southern half of Wales, the Midlands and East Anglia. Plenty of sunshine in here. There's some fair weather cloud, but not really spoiling things too much. And with reasonably light winds, it feels very pleasant. High teens, low 20s, peaking at around 22 degrees across the southeast. Now across North Wales and northern England, there's a rather more in the way of lumpy cloud here. Lumpy enough to generate.
Mr. Matteo Renzi this afternoon. James Reynolds reports from Brussels.
Germany, France and Italy may now be the three most powerful voices within the European Union. Their leaders are getting together with the President of the European Council, Donald Tusk, to work out how to deal with Britain's decision to withdraw. For now, they appear to be prepared to show some patience. Germany says that Britain should be given a reasonable amount of time before the departing country triggers the start of the official 2-year withdrawal process. But Europe's powers don't want to wait too long. Italian Prime Minister Matteo Renzi warns that the last thing the EU needs is a year-long discussion on negotiation procedures.
Israel and Turkey have reached an agreement to end their diplomatic dispute. Relations became strained when an Israeli military raid on a Turkish ship heading to the Gaza Strip 6 years ago led to the deaths of 10 Turkish citizens. Our correspondent Yolande Nell reports from Jerusalem.
The Prime Ministers of Israel and Turkey held simultaneous news conferences to announce details of this deal, both stressing its national strategic importance. Israel had already apologized for any errors that led to the deaths of Turkish activists after its commandos boarded the Mavi Marmara in 2010. It's now agreed to pay over $20 million in compensation into a fund for the families of those killed and injured. While a Turkish demand for Israel's blockade of Gaza to be lifted was refused, Turkey will be allowed to deliver aid to the Palestinian territory via the Israeli port of Ashdod. Before they fell out 6 years ago, Israel and Turkey had strong economic and military ties.
Yolande now. Volatile is certainly the word of the day. The pound is at 31-year low. Some banking shares were suspended at some points, and investors piled into safe havens like gold and government bonds. Shares in Jeremy Corbyn's leadership have been tumbling too, but more of that later. During the referendum campaign, George Osborne painted a bleak picture of a post-Brexit economy and threatened an emergency budget, putting up taxes and cutting services. This morning, he did a U-turn.
There will be an adjustment in our economy because of the decision that the British people have taken. I respect that decision, and we're going to get on and deliver on that decision. But that impact on our economy will have an impact on our public finances. Given the decision by the Prime Minister to hand over to a successor, I think it's perfectly sensible to wait for a new Prime Minister before we determine what that action is.
George Osborne also sought to reassure the global community about the strength of the UK economy in the wake of the referendum result.
I want this great trading nation of ours to put in place the strongest possible economic links with our European neighbours and with our close friends in North America and the Commonwealth and our important partners like China and India. I do not want Britain to turn its back on Europe or on the rest of the world.
Labour predecessor, Alistair Darling, told the Today programme that this wasn't good enough.
We cannot have a 4-month period during which nothing happens. We've got to think very seriously about what relationship we have with the European Union. Where are we on free movement of people? You know, for Boris Johnson to say, oh, we didn't mean it about immigration, and that somehow things can carry on. The entire Brexit campaign was based on scares about immigration, on free movement. We simply cannot wait for 4 months and not discuss these issues, because, you know, the rest of the world will, you know, they'll just look at amazement. How has the United Kingdom come to this position? We've taken this decision and we have no plan for the future.
Alistair Darling will be here with more details of what's been happening on the markets this morning is BBC's business editor Simon Jack. So what do you think the Chancellor was trying to achieve today?
Well, you've got the Prime Minister on his way to the exit. You've got an opposition party in disarray, as you've heard from the headlines there. You've got a pound at 30-something year lows. It's a pretty messy situation, and people want to know, where are the grown-ups? Who's in charge? Who's driving the bus, if you like? And so it falls to both Mark Carney on Friday and the Chancellor today to say, look, you know, just everyone relax a bit. The financial system is in much better shape than it was back in 2008. The economy is fundamentally strong. We're standing ready to do anything that's required. Mark Carney has already said that there's £250 billion of ready cash to support the financial system. We're going to be okay. So that's what he's trying to do. I mean, what I would say is that, you know, it didn't particularly work. People were quite underwhelmed. There wasn't a lot of news in what he said, and as you heard in the headlines there, the markets continued to fall. Now, the FTSE is only down about 1.7%. That's the 100 biggest shares. But if you look past that to the FTSE 250, now these are much more UK-focused companies. That is now down 12% since Thursday night, and also the European markets are also falling as well.
Did the Chancellor have anything to say about the emergency budget that he promised post-referendum?
Well, in that clip you just heard there, you remember in the campaign he said, look, you know, and this was part of Project Fear, which I know you're going to be talking to Mervyn King about later, Lord King, about later. He said, well, you know, it will hit the public finances, the economy will falter, that means we have less tax revenue, that means the deficit will be harder to get down, we're going to have to address that. What he did was he stepped back from that, he said, look, we don't have a new Prime Minister yet, let's look at the Office for Budget Responsibility, which is an independent financial analysis outfit. Let them have a look at where we're going with UK government. That would be the time for new measures. But I mean, he didn't resile from the fact that there could be big spending cuts and tax increases to fill the hole in the economy, as he suspects, as Mark Carney suspects, will be tipped into recession over the next 2 quarters.
Simon, thank you.